Now, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has assured residents of the state of equal treatment regardless of gender and other social statuses in his second term as the chief executive of the state. He gave the assurances at the swearing-in ceremony for him and his deputy at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos Island.
I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Lagos State. So help me God. At this moment of the history of our state, it has fallen upon me to steer the ship and to move us closer than ever before to a greater Lagos of our dream. I made an important promise 4 years ago that I'm compelled to remind you. I said, and I quote, "The Babajide Sanwo-Olu you see today shall not change or try to become something I am not. Every day I have served you as your governor over the last 4 years. I have counted my time in days, in hours, and in minutes, and consistently and habitually done my very best to live up to my personal vow that I will not try to become something that I am not. I have strived to serve you Lagosians excellently without being addressed as His Excellency. I have served you with humility, with compassion, with a listening ear, bending over backwards when necessary to demonstrate to you, the people of Lagos, that leadership is first and foremost a servanthood. I have done my best at every junction to remind you Lagosians that this land belongs to all of us, and all of us who call it home must partake of His goodness. Regardless of what language we speak, or where we trace our ancestral to, or where in Lagos we live, or what religion we profess, regardless of our age or gender or political party, regardless of how long we have called this land home, we are all united by something deep and immutable, which is this: Lagos is the land we know as called home. It is the land to which our deepest dreams and aspirations are tied. The place where we seek to make tomorrow better than today, where we envision an easier life for our children than the one that we live today. Lagos is the place where our ancestors open up their hearts and homes and warmly welcome non-indigenous, and thus fostering a culture of acceptance and diversity that has stood the test of time. Today, our beloved city thrives on this rich heritage of unity in diversity, creating an environment where dreams are nurtured, ambitions are realized, and individuals from all walks of life can find as home. As we continue to write the story of Lagos, let us embrace the spirit of inclusiveness and harmonious coexistence, for it is the spirit that makes us truly a co. Dear Lagosians, I can boldly say that we have had 4 fulfilling years. We have learned a lot, we have made mistakes, and we have also implemented many transformational policies and programs. We assure you that the progress we have made will not be reversed. We will remain steadfast in our mission to make Lagos State a model of good governance, a beacon of hope and opportunity for all. Our path is clear and our resolve is unshakable. As we venture into this second term, I want to assure you that the spirit of our endeavors remains unfiltered. We will continue to tackle our challenges head-on and celebrate our successes. We will harness the potentials of our greatness and the resources of our people. We stand on the threshold of a new era, an era that calls for us to evolve, to reimagine, and to forge ahead. Our vision for Lagos is one that sees no bound. It is a vision of a city where dreams take flight where every citizen is a part of our growth story, and where the global community looks forward to us with respect and admiration. We will continue to build a Lagos that is not only a commercial nerve center, but a hub of innovation, and hub of culture and a sustainable development. A Lagos that is not defined by merely its physical boundaries, but by the indefatigable spirit of its people. A Lagos that stands tall among the communities of the world, that is respected for its commitment to progress, is respected for its commitment to prosperity and the well-being of its people. I will echo the words of one of my referred predecessors, Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, who in his inaugural speech on October 1st, 1979, and he declared, "We shall be scrupulously fair and just to every citizen, be it high or low. We shall seek at all times and on all occasions that the greatest good of the greatest number, we shall be guided by the timeless principles that the will of the people is the supreme law." In a similar vein, we shall continue to welcome constructive criticism, for as we pointed out in our 4 years ago, there lies the seed of improvement. Democracy thrives on differences of opinion and belief. We will strive to respect the opinions of others, even as we expect them to do the same to us. We will strive to communicate effectively and carry you along every step of the way, and to explain the ways and the hows behind the decisions we take on behalf of the people of Lagos.
Let's now bring in a political analyst, Dr. Victor Okhai. Good afternoon, Dr. Okhai. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we saw those, ceremonies, basically in Lagos and Kano states. The governor of Lagos State, second time, promising that he's not going to change, and this will be a Lagos for all. And the Kano State governor, that's Abai Yusuf of the NNPP, getting into detail, talking about street lights, water, 5-kilometer roads. What did you make of these inaugurations?
I was quite impressed with the speech of the Kano State governor. He was very detailed, and his programs were obviously populist. You can see they had the common man in mind, which is hardly surprising. He's a disciple of the Kwankwasia movement, and also a son-in-law of the head of the Kwankwasia movement as well. Apparently, Ganduje, who was in the Kwankwasia movement, had derailed from the programs that they had. I was privy to some of the things that the Kwankwaso did in his time, where he sent a number of young people to Jordan to train as pilots, sent quite a number of young people to go abroad to study IT. I mean, it was really driven on education and on welfare programs as well. So that was, you could see that in coming back, what Governor Abai is trying to do here is bring back those things, and he's looking at, their programs are not targeted at the rich, but at the common persons. I was also impressed with what he said about the women, maternity, what's it now?
Primary healthcare, mobile
yes.
clinic, medical outreach.
Yeah, medical outreach, all that. I even talked about a pack for a pack for women who just gave birth. It's like a pack that they will give them and all that. And you can see what he was saying also. I think he said that in answer about this issue of their marriage, or this mass marriage they do for people who can't afford it. So it was really, on the other hand, well, Lagos is Lagos is Lagos. You might say elitist and all that. Well, I expect that Sanwo-Olu will continue the programs that they've done quite a lot in the area of infrastructure and all that. But I think what is more important, which was reflected in the speech, and I hope it will be, when they begin to apply as well, is to make sure that Lagos is truly a place for everyone. The reason I say so is that, you see, a few days ago, someone was telling me how in Uganda now, a particular section of the country who are known for real estate building, they come to your place, build, and then you might, people may look at them and accuse them of, say, but they're not. You see, when you come to build, that they're going to Uganda now, and they're building estates, building houses, selling, and things that could have been happening here. So we should make the environment very friendly. I tell you, Dangote will never be able to take the refinery out of Lagos. See what happened in Ogun State. They're blaming themselves. There's a blame game going on there right now. So I think that every stage we're fighting to have investors come in and not antagonize people who come, treat everyone, especially because we are Nigerians. And if they're foreigners too, fine. If they come in, whatever they put remains there. They're not taking it away. So let's learn to be very friendly. Look at what Ghana is doing today. All the diasporans, the Americans, Black Americans, and people of Black African descent in South America, in North America, they're all going to Ghana, as if that was the only place they got slaves from. But that's because they've created, a welcoming atmosphere. And I think that, if anything, the lessons from the last election, I hope, will make us more accommodating, so that there'll be more development, in Lagos and in every other state, in the country.
When you say more accommodating, it takes me back to what the observation was by the international community. I remember, I think it was the Europeans that mentioned that there was a lot of ethnic bigotry recorded in the gubernatorial elections. Sure. And one of the recommendations that was given at the time was that those who would be assuming various positions should distance themselves from individuals who were, at the forefront of such a divide. I'm wondering if you think you will see that implemented on the gubernatorial level in Lagos State.
Well, let me say that everything rises and falls with leadership, and starting from the center. I took something from the president's speech, where he said, we shall consult and dialogue, but never dictate. We shall reach out to all, but never put down a single person for holding views contrary to our own. That's on the one hand. Then he went further to say, we're here to further mend and heal the nation, not tear and injure it. Now, that statement is very important, and I hope that it cascades down. The state governors will take from the body language of the president. If he's conciliatory, if he's accommodating, if he reaches out to all. I think down the speech he also talked about, he just made it clear there was not going to be any discrimination. It didn't matter. He mentioned places. I remember hearing Onisha, he mentioned a few cities and talked about the fact that there will be no discrimination and all that. And I think that if that spirit is imbibed across board, then we're in for a better nation.
Yeah, I'm expecting that will cascade down, like you said,
yes,
and I'm expecting that Lagos State Governor will be doing the same thing. He has said it several times. He wants a Lagos that works for everybody.
Everybody.
And now that he's got the second term, I'm expecting that he will be showing what he said, not just saying it, but actually doing it. Exactly. So help us understand, in terms of what the president said, he itemized a few things that he said definitely, without a shadow of doubt, he will be focusing on. On the issue of agriculture, there's been this issue of there is not enough, there is a glut of eggs and a glut of things because of what happened with during the election that led to most of those who were trying to sell things didn't have access to money. How do you think the president is going to actually activate, or what would you be advising the president to do? Because we have a high percentage of rural areas where their only source of income is the produce that they have.
Well, I took out something he said. He mentioned agricultural hubs. And what that presupposes is that areas will be, concentration will be given to areas according to the where areas where they have competitive advantage, let me put it that way. Which means, for instance, that if you look at the belt of, like, you go to the Orange Belt, let me use that language now, places like Benue and the rest of them, where oranges, almost 80% of them are wasted before they actually get to the market, because there are poor storage facilities, we're not processing them and all that. And then by the time they come, they're also very cheap. So the farmers don't really get the full benefit. What I would therefore suggest is that the kind of things we should be bringing in from abroad, importing, shouldn't be finished products, but rather equipment, until we can begin to make them. And I think we can also process them locally here. It doesn't matter how it starts out. That's the nature of innovation. It starts out like nothing, and then you hone it and it becomes better. China did it. But if you bring in this equipment and then make sure that the entire value chain is supported at these various hubs. If you look in a place like Benue, I just use that as an example, I'm isolating that. If it's oranges, then you have processing, encourage a hub where you can process, where you can package, and provide logistics and road infrastructure as well, so that these things are actually properly stored, processed, and then what comes out is a finished product with value addition. Then you are creating jobs, because logistics, people are going, packaging, new industries will come up in those places. Okay, that's on the one. Look at the tomato hub as well. Belt. I want to use that as an example. And then we can replicate the same. Just the other day I was in Ibadan. We were coming, and I went and I looked at Cocoa House, and my colleagues and I were talking, friends, and said, this house was built as far back as then with cocoa, with process from cocoa. It means we had something that was viable, sustainable. Can we revive the cocoa boards, all these boards again, and then see how? Because if we make these areas, these agricultural hubs, if we actually concentrate on building these hubs, I can assure you that people don't need to move. Even this rural-urban migration will be history. People will stay back, because then you can see jobs created, you can see factories and industries coming up, you will see development, you will see, and then we will now have finished products that we can export and also bring in the required foreign exchange, or conserve foreign exchange.
You were specific about using Benue, but I want to be specific regarding Kano, since we just listened to the governor's, not ground up, but listened to the governor's speech. Yes. And what you mentioned about the commercial hubs regarding the president.
Yes.
When you put that next to what was mentioned by, or what was emphasized by the governor of Kano State, where he said, commerce and agriculture shall be modernized and prioritized, and Kano Agricultural Supply Company and NADA will be revamped and reinvigorated to support farms. If you see that dual effort coming from, the center and also on the state level, what does that excite you in any way about the prospects of what we could see in Kano?
I'm excited, because it therefore means that there's some sort of synergy in thoughts between what the president is thinking and what the Kano government is thinking about as well. And Kano is not just a commercial city. There's quite a lot of agricultural activity going on in that state. And I remember going to a factory there. Let me not mention any products here, but where they make milk. I was amazed at the process, from where the cows are milked and then processed and packaged and all that. The products are in stores here in Lagos, and I looked at that, and I also remember they have lots of cotton in the north as well. The textile mills and all the, what do you call it now? The industrial areas in Kano, huge. All of them now practically dead. So I see a governor who is intent on reviving this, who knows the strategic position that Kano has always occupied, not just within Nigeria, but way back from the trans-Saharan, trade era. He recognizes that and is ready to. Some of the wealthiest people in this country are from Kano. So that's a city or a state where people understand trade and commerce very well. And so all you need to do is just create an atmosphere for it to thrive, and, voila.
Okay, so if we're to look at the incoming president's speech, there's a part of it where he said to deter corruption and increase the efficacy and efficiency of the various anti-corruption institutions. Our administration will continue to adopt proactive measures such as promoting a credit culture. So I'm thinking, okay, that sounds good, but in terms of fighting corruption, in your own understanding, how is promoting credit culture going to help to prevent? Is that a way of making people not to feel get rich quickly?
No.
Help us.
Very much. I'll tell you this. If, for instance, you are a civil servant, I will use that as an example now, and you are under pressure to organize a naming ceremony, let me use that language, for your for your baby, and you don't have money. But if the fact that you can have credit, okay, you have a credit card, which means you can borrow, and pay later. You know what that means? It removes the pressure on you from dipping your finger into the public till. Okay? And as long as, and it does something, it also promotes integrity and honesty, because you know that if you default on your credit and you're not, the more faithful you are, the more credit you get. Okay? And it means therefore that the more access you would have to money to be able to do more things. So it promotes a culture of honesty. It takes away pressure, from going to steal when you know that you can actually get money. You know what I mean? So you can build your credit. You can start slowly from 1,000. You are faithful. It's expanded to 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. And so you begin to target and say, look, if I keep paying back and I'm faithful and I use this money properly and return it, I can actually, people start businesses with their credit cards. You know what I mean? Because they've been able to build their credit. So I think it's a good culture. I think if the president can bring that in, it would, to a very large extent, mitigate, the issue of corruption in the system.
When it comes to transparency,
yes,
in Kano State, I'm still going back to the Kano State because he was so detailed.
He was, very much.
Indeed, he mentioned that he would publish weekly reports. I think that was of SEC, and also stated that the payments would be done through economic systems for the sake of transparency. What does this say about the trust that we're seeing blossoming probably between the people of Kano State and their newly inaugurated or sworn-in governor? Okay,
let me say that he's a direct beneficiary of the goodwill of his party leader and his father-in-law, if you excuse my saying it again. Kwankwaso is very much loved by the people of Kano. And it's not an accident. He has earned it. He's worked for it. And I think that because that's one of the biggest movements in the country today. It's not just for that. It's a movement. That red, cap or whatever. The red cap movement is real. There's a trust deficit between our leaders and our political leaders and the followers in this country. Kano is a place where if the people turn their back on you, will be tied you, excuse my language. But if they trust you, believe me, they will do anything for you. And it doesn't take too much. I think Kwankwaso understands it, and hopefully his disciple, Abba, understands it as well, which is why everything he's doing, if you can, from what we listen to, his policies are he's not said anything about the big man. He's not providing tax incentives for the big man. He knows that if the poor man is okay, the big man is guaranteed to be okay. Unlike what happens with many politicians or people in power who are only targeting making friends among the rich. And so they enrich only a few at the top at the detriment of the people at the bottom of the pyramid. You know? So I think the focus is right. And he's trying to build back that lost trust deficit that has been existing, that had existed, or that had been eroded during the last administration, you know, of his predecessor.
Okay. We're just being told now that we've got Maudi of the Situation Room. She joins us now from our Abuja studio. Good to have you join us now, Ma. How are you today? Happy Inauguration Day and Happy Democracy Day, because it is Democracy Day, isn't it, Ma?
Okay, I think June 12th is the Democracy Day. But I think today is a happy inauguration day.
Well, I thought they changed it because there was a change that, yes, I know, but there was a change that was done that we should align it to this particular debate. I will confirm. All right, so let's move on quickly to what are your thoughts regarding the inauguration today and the promises of the new president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What are your thoughts about his promises when you align it with what he has said in his manifesto and what he's promising today?
Okay, I listened to him, and there are things that came through to me I'm so happy about. Like one of them is that he's going to give women, he was going to involve women more in his administration, which is a welcome idea. And also and the youth also. And one important thing that also happened in his speech, and I'm so happy I have the speech in my phone, and I'm going to download it and print it and hold it on to engage him, because he came out and outlined what he is going to do. And I also heard when he said there will be a house cleaning, and the central bank will there will be no dual exchange rate. We'll have one common exchange rate. It grandens my heart. And also when I heard that subsidy will go, and I will say, praise God, subsidy and the corruption will live our lives for good. And whenever they want to bring it in any form, we'll remind him of today's promises. I will say, no, this subsidy will not be part of our lives anymore, because it must go. There are so many things he promised, and it can never stop today. We have to engage him with what he said to us. They told us that a manifesto can be written by people. But what I heard him say today, I'm going to use it, and we are going to use it to engage him. And that's when we can get the good governance we are desiring to have. We are not going to sleep that after today everything is okay. No, we'll be waiting for him to do everything he promised. No. As he's going to hit the road running, we're also hitting it, reminding him all the things he said today and all the things he also said in his manifesto that he's going to do. We are going to hold him accountable, and he has to also be every step of the way to account for his actions and resources. And also want him, the way he spoke to us after inauguration today, to be speaking to us continuously. Every day, if there is anything that is hindering him from going to carry out what he says he will do, he's also carry it out. So it is not when after 4 years he will come and take his own exam and mark his own paper and give himself marks and say, I have done my best and I've succeeded. No, we have to all be part of his government, reminding him every day, including you, Kayode, and all of us, that this is what you said. He said within weeks, he's going to give us economic policy. He's going to take away poverty and hunger, and we are going to have food. Those are heartwarming promises, because we've been hungry for a long time. And when we hear that we'll have food, it is heartwarming that we are going to have food. And we are going to be reminding him that the food that has disappeared from so many people's tables, people struggle to eat once a day, that they are going to have food the way we were having it before 8 years ago. We need to have food. We need poverty to go. We need corruption to die. Because when corruption goes, we will have health sector that is functioning and effective and efficient. And we have a functional education system that our children will no longer go to Sudan or Ghana or Benin Republic or Niger Republic to go to school. That we used to have wonderful educational system in this country. We are going to bring back a better educational system that we used to have. And if we want to have them, some things must go, like corruption must go, and we have poverty reduced to the barest minimum, that the people will no longer go to die in desert because they want to disappear from Nigeria. Nigeria will start working. And if Nigeria has to work, we have to hold our new president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, accountable to all the promises he made today, all the promises he made in his manifesto. We will not wait for 1 year to scorn him. We are not going to wait for 100 days to scorn him. As he's hitting the road running tomorrow, we are going to run with him by reminding him, you promised so and so. This is the time to how many women are your cabinet? How many women are you going to encourage the National Assembly to bring on board into leadership positions? We are not going to allow him wait or sleep, and we are not going to watch him to wait for 6 months before forming his cabinet. No, we won't do that. We did it in the past and it didn't work for us. So we are going to continuously remind him of his promises today. And when I listen to his promises today, and I want to see there is a hope coming, but the hope cannot come if I keep quiet, if all of us keep quiet. When we finish eating and drinking, we have to wake up and remind the new president that there is work to be done, and we need to see your ministers, and we will ensure that the specialists, professionals, are those who have shown a track record are being put in a place. We will not allow him to now put people who do not know what they are supposed to do, and who will come to give us something that has nothing, no bearing in our lives, or to move the country forward. Nigeria have been backward for a long time. We need to get it right. We have been fighting for Nigeria to work for so many years. We are going to the grave, and the Nigeria keep getting worse and worse. So the new president promised so many things that we are going to hold him accountable. They said they are not the one who wrote the manifesto last time. We can put the manifesto aside, but we can bring today's promises. We had him speaking to us. I show him, sir, these are the things you promise. We need to have a common exchange rate. We need to have food on our tables. We need to say bye-bye to corrupt subsidy and also poverty in our lives. These are the things women have to be part of your administration, because this country without women have not worked. So we have to put the women. We saw women in charge during Obasanjo era. The successes he recorded were as a result of women there. If we bring women back to the governance, we will see successes. And this time around, we bring the women who know what they have to do to change every situation, bad as it. I actually think they should put a woman as a minister of education, as a minister of health, as a minister of finance. Those areas that need turnaround, we need to put women, and we need to put women who have a track record of success and who understand the issues to make it work. Yeah, we don't want a woman who only in the ministry, women affairs and youth development. No, we need women in the core sectors of the economy to turn things around. We need to see the youth, those who have so many ideas. We had 1 million jobs, and we have to follow it up and say, President, in digital economy, you promised us 1 million jobs for the youth. Where are the jobs? We will keep on asking till we have them. We can no longer, both you, Kayode, all of us, we have to make this country work. If the country is working, nobody has business in Japan to anywhere. So we have to make it work. We are all Nigerians. We can't keep quiet. It's no longer... Tinubu has graduated from APC today to Nigeria. So it's no longer APC business. It is Nigerian business. And all of us have a stake in it today.
Said, Maudi, thank you for letting us know that we should also print out the inaugural address and have it downloaded on our phones. I'll be doing that as well. But we still have with us political analyst Dr. Victor Okhai. I'm curious regarding what your first reaction was when you heard about the fuel subsidy being gone. Did you expect that to happen on day one? Because the reactions I saw around me were like, oh, help, you know?
Fortunately, and very much unlike maybe many other people, I listened to the budget. I knew there were some controversies around it. You remember that at the point I was like, should it be kept, should it not be kept? And I think there was exchange between the president and the former president. So it was right there under our noses, but probably we didn't pay so much attention. And just a couple of days ago, the Minister of Works, former Minister of Works, former Governor Raji Fashola had alluded to it. He told us, he said, where's the subsidy? There's no subsidy. So it's not surprising. I think that this has been prearranged. It's not without the knowledge of the president. He's fully aware of it. And they had an agreement probably to make it easier for him so that he didn't have to take that decision. So the decision has been taken. So he just comes in and then says, oh, well, it's been done, it's been done. It was done in such a clever way that you can't hold anybody responsible. You know, but it was there all along and no one said anything about it.
What does it say about, the kind of president that we should expect based on the timing at which it came in terms of his character?
No, you'll have to explain what you mean by, let me understand the question.
The reactions I heard at the time, some said it was brave, some said they showed that he was courageous and whatnot, that he made that announcement today. So I'm just wondering if that had any...
It wasn't an announcement, it was obvious. It was always there, So the reason is that in the budget, there was no provision from June 1st. So whether you like it or yes, excuse my language, from June 1st, there was not going to be payment for subsidy anymore. So it didn't have to come as a shock or as a surprise to anyone. And it's not credits to anyone. It's just, it is what it is. That from June 1st, there will no longer be subsidy. So it was simply making an announcement and putting us on notice about what had already been done.
Okay. All right. Let me come back to Ma. Thanks for freezing my brain with regards June 12 and May 29. I couldn't stop laughing because I don't know how I got the brain freeze. Okay, Ma, the president mentioned in his speech that he said women and young people will take center stage in our administration. What would you like to see him do, especially about women, when he says they will take center stage? What would you expect him to do and what would you recommend he should do?
Okay, I think also that I have seen a woman taking center stage, his wife, during the dinner and lecture. And I was so happy and excited about that. But like I just said now, I need him to put in high-skilled professional women in the Ministry of Health, Education, and also finance. All those critical sectors of our life, we need to turn them around. We need to turn them around. And we must do it. We must do it. We need to turn them around. And for us to turn them around, we have verifiable evidence from former president's era President Olusegun Obasanjo, how a woman got us out of debt, how a woman actually started telling us how much is allocated to states and local government areas, and brought a little bit of accountability for power and collective resources. We need to bring skilled professional women to the critical sectors of our economy, including the aviation. We have been struggling for so many years to have Nigeria Air. Trust me, if you give a woman that job, Nigeria Air will be a reality. So we need to bring women to Ministry of Aviation, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, those critical areas, even Ministry of Labor and Employment. When a woman, a professional woman who understands, because women are the ones who born the burden of bad governance. And they are the ones who gave birth to children being killed every day across the country. And they are the ones who borne the burden of economic meltdown. When there is no food, a woman will ensure that her children and husband eat, and then she will go to bed hungry. It is her. It is that she that does it. So a woman will ensure that there is job opportunities. Even we actually be looking for where there are opportunities, so that he will tell the president, can't we fix young people here? We need women in critical sectors of our country. If we are sure to have development, we need women. I am so happy when he said women will play critical, will be critical in his government, and the youths, which is okay. But we need to have women, not to bring 100 women that are coming to dance and cook and eat. No, we need women in critical sectors of our economy, and also in our development, to ensure that we turn education around, we turn health around, we turn labor ministry around. We also ensure that a woman will ensure how we can get out of this huge debt we have found ourselves, and also function as a nation. We need women in all the critical sectors of the economy. We have verifiable evidence. In the past, we have Ministry of Education, verifiable evidence. We have Ministry of Finance, verifiable evidence. During Obasanjo era, we need to replicate it, and also translate it to other sectors, and make sure that Nigeria is working. You can't just say Nigeria will work. We want to see it work. We want to see Nigeria work. We want to see the Nigeria of our dream in our time. And we also want to see Nigeria where nobody will say it's our party man. Tinubu is no longer our party man. Tinubu is president of Nigeria, and he must work for Nigeria. And this is the time. If he sees a Nigerian that can turn the health sector around, if the Nigerian is living in Cote d'Ivoire, let him go and bring that woman here. Or anywhere he sees them, let him go and bring them. Because when they perform and change this country, it is for his glory. Because if he refuses to work, we will see. But we are not going to wait. We want him to succeed. Every day we will remind him of these issues he listed in his broadcast, and with his picture and with his voice, we will keep on showing him. So you say so. 1, 2, 3. How far have you gone? We are not waiting for 100 days. We are starting tomorrow, and we will show he succeeds.
And hopefully he will. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. We still have with us Dr. Okhai. Now, I'm just I'm remembering the reports that I saw last week. I'm sure you did as well, about the 52% of Nigerian professionals that were looking to leave the country, and various critical sectors such as finance and insurance, professional services, education, and healthcare. When you listened to the speech of the president, do you think that catered to probably having those 52% maybe have a rethink regarding their decisions?
I, frankly, amongst a few other points, I just mentioned them as well, those were some of the gaps I saw in the speech. The diasporans, I didn't hear anything, about them at all. For me, if we're talking about foreign direct investment, we're talking about investment, or reflecting this economy without going for what you call it now, loans and all that. critical, to making this economy bounce back is creating an environment that will leave the foreigners. Our diasporans, if we can encourage them to come back, honestly, they're enough to turn around this country and our economy. But nothing was mentioned about them. That's on the one hand. And for those who want to go out, I didn't hear anything reassuring. Okay, granted, you may say, they say they're going to create 1 million jobs. For whom? There were some things you mentioned which were also very important. The issue of through infrastructural jobs and all that. I mean, when you look at it, there's a pyramidal structure in those jobs that you create through infrastructural projects. What it simply means, you have a few engineers at the top and then laborers at the bottom. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Those are not the people, they don't have the money to jackpot. You understand what I'm saying? So we need, I felt that he should have been more intentional. Maybe when they unfold the other agenda, we'll be able to see. I didn't hear anything about sports. I didn't hear anything about entertainment. I didn't hear anything about tourism. These are critical areas. These areas alone are able to sustain the economies of other countries. And if you look at the youth population in this country, it's not enough to just say we'll take care of the youth. Perhaps all you want to do is, when a dog is barking, you just put food in his mouth, let it shut up. Is that what you want to do with the youth? We must be more deliberate and begin to say what we want to do, what he wants to do for the youth.
Please just give us one moment, and we'll still get back to that because I really want you to do justice to that. But we do have some breaking news now. Okay. We understand that the chairman of DAR Communications, that's Chief Raymond Dokpesi, is dead. Dokpesi, who was a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, died on Monday. That's today in Abuja at the age of 71. His death was announced in a statement by Raymond Dokpesi Jr., the son of the deceased, who pioneered private broadcasting in Nigeria. In the statement, the family expressed gratitude for the support received from Nigerians. They also ask for privacy as they go about the burial arrangements of the media entrepreneur. Well, may his soul rest in peace. Dr. Okhai, I'm sure that has impacted you to an extent, but if you could just go back to what you were saying, regarding how tourism, if we're able to, if the focus was, you didn't see any of those in the statements regarding addressing diasporans and sports, entertainment, and tourism.
I mean, let me say this. Yeah. A brother boy can go abroad for one shoe, get $750,000. That's one individual. That money, if he brings it back here, you know what it does. You know how long it will take for a manufacturer to produce, and how many goods he may have to produce, and the process before he can bring you that kind of money. Okay? Entertainment, I mean, right now, whether you do it or not, the Screenwriters Guild in America, part of the problem they're having is Nollywood. You know why? Because now the streamers have found alternatives, and they can say to them, hey, hold it. If you say you don't want to work, cool. We're getting better stories, or we're getting good stories from other parts of the world, and when you say other parts of the world, it's Nollywood. Okay? So there's so much. So these are sectors, critical sectors. Tourism, we have not scratched at all. What Ghana is doing, I don't see any tourism site. All they do is just what's that castle called again? Something castle that they all come to, and then they weep and say, oh, this is where your grandfathers were. But across Nigeria, we have so many tourism sites. Sports. Look at what, sell one player here, you know how much he makes. Anosime, for instance, all that money he makes, if you don't create an environment where even if it means exporting them, when they go out there, they're going to make this money and bring it back. What are we doing to encourage sports, entertainment, tourism? I didn't see that. The diasporans, I didn't see that. I think that the government should be very deliberate. Enough of this talk about oil. California, I don't know them with oil. Texas, perhaps. But look at California. What sustains that place? Before Silicon Valley, before tech, it was just about entertainment, and then tech came, and we have many young people here. See, all the young people you call, what you call it now, whether you say Yahoo boys and all that, it's just misdirected energy. Why do I say so? The same water that causes a flood is the same water you can dam to produce electricity. You know what I mean? It's just the proper application of energy. If you misapply energy, it can be destructive. If you apply it properly, it can be productive. The same thing we need to do with our young men. They're sharp, they're brilliant. The Indians have understood the power of this, and that's why today, you know, they are now heading all the big corporations in the US. We have as much potentials. We need to encourage our young people in the tech area. I know they talk about a digital economy. I know they may have plans and all, but be more, encourage our people. There's no joy in staying abroad. You live there, you know that you're at best a second-class citizen. But you come back here, you live like a king. The little money you make, you can sit here and do remote jobs. You don't have to travel out. So I expect that the president, beyond lip service, should begin to focus on these areas. Look at Nollywood, look at the music industry, look at the tech industry, look at sports, tourism, entertainment, and also equally important, please do something about bringing back the diasporans and make this place conducive enough so that our doctors don't have to go out anymore, and then encourage our people so they can even begin to do remote jobs from here. Create an ecosystem that will make us prosperous within Nigeria.
Well, I'm sorry, the news of
I know.
Dr. Raymond Dokwesi really hit me. I couldn't think for a few minutes because that man was an enigma. He was a phenomenon. He was a person that I knew personally, that I knew that he did a lot for the broadcast industry in Nigeria. The first independent television station in Nigeria called Africa Independent Television.
And radio as well.
He set it up, and he was a leader in the industry, being involved in driving the agenda of broadcasting organizations of Nigeria and driving the agenda of broadcasters. He has trained so many people in the industry. He has raised legends in the industry. He's being a leading light in the industry when it comes to broadcasting, radio and television, AM and FM. He's done tremendous and amazing things. Yes, we're talking about Inauguration Day, but this is the kind of news we don't want to see today, and he's only 71 years old, and there are so many of us in the industry that have benefited from what he has done to raise the profile of the industry and to also help a lot of people develop and to grow. So it's a difficult one to swallow. Well, we pray that his family, God will give them the fortitude to bear that loss, and all of us in the industry that really love the man and love the work he has done, we pray that all of us will be able to bear this, because he's still so young and energetic. Yes, we saw him on television recently. Yeah. So to find that he's gone seems, I don't know whether you met him personally.
He's from the same area as I am, apart from the fact that I'm also in the industry. So it's a big blow. I can tell you that.
Well, the show must go on is what we've learned in the industry and when it comes to television. So, Matt, let's come back to you and still on the issue of inauguration. 24 states out of 36 has got new governors today. The rest of the states have governors that's been there that didn't have any election. What will be the things that you will be saying today to all of those new governors, especially in terms of what they should be doing to make sure that it's not business as usual? Because we have put a lot of focus on the central part of our governance, the federal government, and to the disadvantage of the state government. And the question is always that when we do that, we end up forgetting that democracy is got to be at the level of the citizens, and it's not in Abuja. So what would you be saying to the governors to make sure that the benefits of democracy reach the hinterland, reach the local government, and reach the wards?
Okay, I've been watching a platform where we have our NGO, civil society groups across the states, and all of them have been sharing the broadcasts of the governors that took oath of office today. And we are going to actually bring them together, all of the 24 states, and we are going to use what they have said and also their manifestos to engage with them, because I agree with you, Kayo, that we have focused so much on the center. Those people who are also working at the state level, but they are not as energetic as we that are working in the center. We are actually going to come and assist them and make sure that we engage all the governors, because the few that performed, they are behaving as if they use their own personal resources to do the little they have done. We're also going to hold them accountable of all the things they have said in their manifestos and what they told us today that they are going to do. We are also going to be calling on them from today, not waiting for them to come and tell us what they have done for 100 days. We are going to be engaging with them continuously, reminding them of what they said in their manifesto and what they said also today, that now they have to work. There are so many states owing salaries and allowances and pensions. So, like for example, like Abia State, the governor, the current governor that took oath of office today, have been struggling to become governor. Now he's governor, and he has promised to pay salaries and pensions of workers. So he can start from tomorrow, and by telling the people, this is how much I made in the coffee. This is what I'm going to do. I want to pay your salaries. I want to pay your pensions. I want to pay your gratuity. And start doing that. And also, I want to restore the glory. I'm just using Abia State, for example. I want to restore the glory of Aba. So all those things he promised us, and all the things he said today, we can actually use them. We are that are in Abuja, and support those NGOs in other states, in Kano, in Abia, in Kaduna, to be asking questions and bringing it to, putting it in a front burner every day, saying, this man has spent, this woman, no woman is a governor anyway. We are very lucky this time around, but it will not be like that in going forward. No man, this man has spent 10 days. He has spent 20 days. He has spent 2 weeks. He has not done anything. Or he has spent 2 weeks. He has paid salaries that the outgone governor didn't pay. He has done this. He has done that. And we have to be having also an engagement, going to ask them if they refuse to tell us. Well, what happened? Are you having difficulties? Are there constraints that we can help so that you perform? Because we have to encourage them. We have to support them to perform. We have left so many, many of them who didn't perform. We left them to decide to give us anything or not to even do anything at all. But we are now going to engage them to work, because if they do not work, we won't come back 4 years and say, you failed. No, we also failed with them. This is the time to ensure that there is accountability of what they promised they will do today and what they have told us in their manifesto that they will do. So if they cannot do it, because the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we say we should not pity him. He's the one who applied for the job. So all of them, we will not pity any of them. They are the ones who applied for the job. And they work so tirelessly to see that they are elected. And they are elected. And they have been inaugurated. This is the time to start running. They have to put all their ministers and aides together. And we don't want to hear one man having 100 aides, having 900 aides. What are they doing? We want to see people who are serious, because when you are serious, you have a smaller team, and every person in a team is contributing his or her quota to ensure they achieve all the things you listed today that you want to do for your state, and all the things you listed in your manifesto that you want to do in your state. And I can tell you for free, the carry data, if the head is working, the other parts will work. We have seen it in the past. If the central is working very well, effectively and efficiently, accountably, and ensuring that there is accountable to resources, both human and financial, that were handed over to him, the parts will work, will just fall in line. But when the central is weak, the parts will actually be using excuses. But we are not going to allow both the central and the parts to sleep, because the time is fast spent. The day is at hand. Nigeria must work. And if Nigeria must work, everybody must play his parts.
Well said, Ma. Dr. Okhai, after listening to Ma, I remember you mentioned that basically the governors are looking at the body language of what's happening at the center. But how critical is it for the center to also look at what's happening in the parts? For instance, when it comes to the transparency that was basically what the governor of Kano State was saying he's working towards in terms of, having electronic payments and weekly reports for the SEC meetings. Do you think that is something that is worthy of emulation at the center to also boost transparency and trust potentially?
It's already happening at the center. The single treasury single account. TSA. So that's already happening. So which means that Kano is borrowing from it. Again, that's the thing. If it works very well there, then it is translated. I mean, others will borrow from it. But I think what is important, or what I think we're trying to say, is that at the center can also monitor what is happening, at the state level, which is why you have institutions like EFCC, for instance. You have, what's the other one again now? The one that is there, it's not there. What's it called? The second, but I've forgotten the name, not EFCC, the one for public, ICPC. Yes. I don't know why, for whatever reason, they're there they're not there. So when you have institutions like that, and then I think the federal government also monitors, because you see, when funds are given to states, some of them go to borrow, and then many of them don't act responsibly. Or where they're supposed to provide counterpart funding for projects and things like that, they don't. So the federal government is in a position to wield the big stick and make sure that everything works, together. But is there something for the federal to learn from the states? I would say yes, which is the reason why, for instance, you find Buhari, he and among others were talking glowingly about the current president and what he did in Lagos. They kept making references to that. And he had also hoped that Fashola will do the magic of Lagos at the federal level, and then saddled him with both electricity and power and what you call it, and works, together. So I think that there are things there are things they can borrow from each other. There's fora where they all meet. So I think that we need a synergy. We need a common vision at the center, which is where I would usually talk about visionary leadership. If you look at Lee Kuan Yew, for instance, of Singapore, or the president, at UAE, the emir, the leader, the head there, you find that that's a man who, for instance, saw in a desert, all these beautiful houses, saw the vision, the people bought into the vision, and today everyone is going to Dubai, to the United Arab Emirates, for instance. So it's important that at the center we have a visionary leader, one who is able to say, Nigeria, paint a mental picture and say, this is where we're going. And then hope that that vision will be caught by everybody, every Nigerian. But for that to succeed, you cannot be the leader of a party or of a tribe. If you are a leader that everyone can look up to, that everyone can identify with and believes in, then we can key into that vision and everybody will walk towards that vision. that's the kind of leader I hope the president will be. And he will be able to sell that kind of vision that all state governments will buy into, right down to every single Nigerian, to say, this is the Nigeria we want to see. This is the Nigeria we believe in. You recall the Kano state governor tried to do something like that. There was a line there, he said, Kano, the Kano of our pride, Kano, my state, my pride.
Yes.
I actually thought he borrowed that from, because my community has a similar payoff, So when I saw that, but I saw an attempt at building a vision that can be sold to the people that they can key into, So if we have something like that at the center, then perhaps we can have something we can all identify with, want to work towards, and we can begin to see the kind of future that we want for our country.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're still with us, Dr. Victor Okhai, but we have to let you go now. Thank you so much, Maudi of Situation Room. Thanks for your contribution. We do appreciate, and we're looking forward to the conversation with you going forward, especially in making sure that we keep track of what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be doing. So moving on very quickly, President Bola Tinubu has said security of the country will be the top priority of the new administration. He stated this earlier today in his inaugural address to the nation at the Eagle Square in Abuja. Tinubu said security of the country and the people shall be paramount for his administration, as neither peace nor prosperity will prevail in an atmosphere of violence. He also assured that the new administration will review the security architecture and provide better training, equipment, and manpower for the armed forces.
Highly commendable President and former President of Nigeria, departed for his home base. My regards to him. All the excellency, the head of state, president, and leaders of various countries, they are present. Former head of state, a great man, committed, highly honest to the development of this country, General Yakubu. My dear wife, the new First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu. Your Excellency, Vice President Kasim Shettima and his wife, Nana Shettima. Senate President, distinguished Senators Ahmed Lawan, House of Representatives Speaker, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and his wife, Salamat. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Olukayode Ariwola, Your Excellencies, Governors, here present, the Chairman of our party, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, former APC interim chairman, Chief Akonde, and my brother, Chief Chegun Otoba. Distinguished senators and honorable members of the House of Representatives, honorable ministers and members of the just dissolved National Executive, members of diplomatic corps, the royal fathers, men of the armed forces, I salute you for your sacrifices and the supreme sacrifices you've made for this country, for the men and women. We thank you. And we thank you the way today is going well. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my fellow citizens, I stand before you, honored to assume the sacred mandate you have given me. My love for this nation is abiding. My confidence in its people, unwavering, and my faith in God Almighty is absolute. I know that His hand can provide the needed moral strength and clarity of in those instances when evil seem afraid the limit of human capacity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this day is bold and majestic, yet bright and full of spirit, as is our precious nation. As a nation, we have long ago decided to march beyond the dimness of night into open day of renewed national hope. The question is, and we must now ask ourselves, is whether to remain faithful to the work inherent in the building of a better society, or retreat into the shadow of our unmet potential. For me, there is but no one answer. There are we are too great a nation and too grand as a people to rob ourselves our finest destiny. The nation's journey has been shaped by the prayers of our founding fathers and other millions, and the collective sacrifices of us all. We have endured hardship that will have made other societies crumble. We have shouldered the heavy burden to arrive at this sublime moment where the prospect of a better future matches with our improved capacity to create that future. To the surprise of many, but not to ourselves, we have more firmly established this land as a democracy in both word and deed. The peaceful transition from one government to another now is our political tradition. This handover symbolizes our trust in God, our enduring faith in representative governance, and our belief in our ability to reshape this nation into its society it was always meant to be. My brothers and sisters, permit me to say a few words to my predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari. Mr. President, former. You have been an honest, patriotic leader who has done his best for the nation you love. On a more personal note, you are a worthy partner and a friend, and may history be kind to you. For many years, Nigeria's critics have trafficked that the rumor that our nation will break up, even perish. They have even redesigned the map. Yet we are here. We have stumbled at times, but resilience and diversity have kept us going, and we will keep going. Our body may make us bend at times, but it shall never break us. Instead, we stand firm as Africa's most populous nation and as the best, hope, and strongest champion of the black race. As a citizen, we declare as one unified people, devoted to one unified nation, national cause, that as long as this world exists, Nigeria shall exist. Take me back to the old man's impact there, General Yakubu Gowon. Cliché, if Nigeria won the task that must be done. If you are young or old, you will remember. Today, faith and destiny join together to place the touch of human progress in our very hand. We dare not let it slip. We live high this touch so that it might shine on every household and in every heart that calls itself Nigeria. We hold the beam aloft because it lights our path with compassion, brotherhood, and peace. May this great light never extinguish. Say amen. Our administration will govern you only on your behalf, but never rule over you. We shall consult and dialogue, but never dictate. We shall reach out to all, but never put down a single person for holding view contrary to our own. We are here to further mend and heal this nation, not tear and injure it. In this way, may I offer a few comments regarding the election that brought us here today to this town. Yes, it was a hard-fought contest and was also fairly won. Since the advent of the Fourth Republic, Nigeria has known had an election of a better quality. I said so. The outcome reflected the will of the people. However, my victory does not render me any more Nigerian than my opponent. Nor does this render them any less patriotic. They shall forever be my fellow compatriots, and I will treat them as such. They represent important constituencies and concerns that wisdom dare not ignore. Some have taken their concerns to court, seeking legal redress. That is their right, and I fully defend that exercise of this right. This is the essence of the rule of law. Over decades ago, our founding fathers bravely gave us this country to place Nigeria on the map of an independent nation. We must never allow the labor of those who came before us to wither in vain, but to blossom and bring forth a better reality. Let us take the next great step. The journey they began and believed in. Today, let us commit ourselves to placing Nigeria in our hearts as the indispensable home for each and every one of us, regardless of creed, ethnicity, or place of birth. My supporters, I thank you. To who did vote for me, I thank you as well. I extend my hand across the political divide. I ask you to grasp the national affinity and brotherhood. For me, political polarization has faded away. All I see here are Nigerians. All of you. May we uphold this vision, an excellent notion as a new Nigeria idea. My fellow citizens, Nigeria idea, which I speak of, is more than just an improvement in economic and statistics. These things are important, but they can never convey the fullness of our story. Our mission is to improve our ways of life in a manner that nurtures our humanity, encourages compassion towards one another, and duly reward our collective effort to social ill that seek to divide us. Our Constitution gave us a nation on paper. We must work hard at bringing this noble document to life by strengthening the bond of economic collaboration, social cohesion, and cultural understanding. Let us develop a shared sense of fairness and equality. South must not only seek good for itself, but must understand that interest has served where good come to the north. North must not see the south likewise. Whether from the winding creeks of Niger Delta, the vastness of northern Savannah, the boardroom of Lagos, the building bustling capital of Abuja, as busy market of Onitsha. You are all the people. As your president, I shall serve you with prejudice towards none, but compassion and amity towards all. In the coming days and weeks, my team will publicly detail the key aspects of our economic program. Today, permit me to outline in broad terms a few initiatives that define our concept of progressive good governance and furtherance of the Nigerian idea. The principles that will guide our administration are very simple. Nigeria will be impartially governed according to the rule of law, Constitution, We shall defend the nation from terror and all form of criminality that threaten the peace and stability of our country. We shall remodel our economy to bring our growth and develop the GDP much better, achieve the GDP much better than we have today. I assure you. Do that through job creation, food security, and an end to extreme poverty. In our administration, women and youth will feature prominently. Our government will continue to take proactive steps, such as championing a credit culture, to discourage corruption, while strengthening the effectiveness and efficiency of various anti-corruption agencies. That's to be a continued work in progress. Security shall be top priority of our administration, because neither prosperity nor justice can prevail amid insecurity and violence. To effectively tackle this, we shall reform both our security doctrine and its architecture. We shall invest more in our security personnel, and it means more than an increase in number. We shall provide better training, equipment, pay, and fire. On the economy, we target a GDP not less than 6% growth. We aim to accomplish all of this by taking the following steps: budgetary reform, stimulating the economy without engendering inflation, industrial policy to utilize the full range of domestic manufacturing and lessen import dependency. The electricity will become more accessible and affordable to businesses and homes alike. Power generation should nearly double, and transmission and distribution network must improve significantly. We will encourage various state governments to continue to participate in this effort, power generation and distribution of their own. I have a message for our investors, local and foreign. Our government shall review all the complaint about multiple taxation. And review various anti-investment inhibitions. We shall ensure that investors and foreign businesses repatriate their hard-earned dividends and profits owed. My administration must create meaningful opportunities for our youth. We shall honor our campaign commitment of 1 million jobs in the digital economy. Our government also shall work with the National Assembly to fashion an omnibus job and prosperity bill. This will give our administration the policy space to embark on labor-intensive infrastructural development, improvement, and encourage light industry, provide improved social services for the poor, elderly, and vulnerable. On agriculture, rural income can be secured by commodity exchange board guaranteeing minimal prices for certain crops. Animal products, a nationwide program for the storage and facilities to reduce spoilage and waste. All of that will be undertaken. Agricultural hubs will be created throughout the nation to increase production and engage in credit, promote credit, engage in value-added processing. The livestock will introduce the best modern practices and steps taken to minimize the perennial conflict. Through this, food will be made more abundant, yet less costly. Farmers shall earn more while the average Nigerians pay less. On infrastructure, we shall continue the effort of the Buhari administration on infrastructure development there, and know how many railroad and water construction are. On fuel subsidy, unfortunately, the budget that I've glimpsed before I assumed office and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. Subsidy can no longer justify an ever increasing cost in the wake of dry resources. We shall instead channel whatever to fund to better public infrastructure, education, healthcare, and jobs that will materially improve life for people. Monetary policy. Do house cleaning, thorough house cleaning is necessary. The central bank must work towards a unified exchange rate. This will direct the fund from arbitrage to meaningful investment and the plant and equipment. Jobs that are powered, that will power the real economy. Interest rate needs to come down. Currently too high. Anti-people, anti-business. We have to work on all of them. To me, I know I've taken you through a winding time, a long time today. I will end this speech by assuring that the mandate they have given me is not misplaced. The confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria. Just let us be united. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. God bless Federal Republic of Ghana.
You're still watching the inauguration 2023 here on Arise News, and we have Dr. Victor Okhai, who is a political analyst. Any final words regarding all that's happened today in terms of advice for the President, Bola Tinubu?
Simply this. As soon as elections are over and inauguration has taken place, I think that the President should just become the father of all Nigerians. A political party is just a platform, just a means to an end. And what is the end? To build a united and prosperous Nigeria. So I'd say to the President, be a father to all Nigerians, treat everyone like one party, like one family, and Nigeria will be the better for it.
Well said.
All right, and that does it. Thank you very much, Dr. Victor Okhai.